Hello, I am Anthem. I am 9 years old, and today I will tell you about my most prized possession, my board of heroes. It all started when I was jumping on the trampoline, and the name Kang just popped into my head. After a little bit, I wanted to name something Kang. So I went inside and just started drawing and going along with whatever popped into my head. And that's what began what I call the battle. It is a game that I play with my brother and my best friend where we all draw heroes and make a story out of them. So far, I've made about 60 heroes. My best friend has made about maybe 30 heroes, and my brother has made about 15. The battle is a very fun story-related game. There's a lot of heroes and a few villains. The villains I put mostly on the bottom of my board, and the heroes are just scattered everywhere. Some of the heroes are just, well, I had to take them off because they were under-detailed or miscolored. So I have made more heroes, just they're not on the board, they're in the garbage. My first hero is a lava-themed robot made by an organization called Alpha. It is a lab in a volcano where robots are created to protect the world. One day, the volcano started leaking and everyone evacuated the volcano, bringing every robot with them. Or so they thought. Shortly before the volcano erupted, they made Kang. He is a weaponized robot who has many weapons but does not use them to cause harm. His weapons are a flamethrower and a tungsten gun on his left arm. This is his tungsten gun and this is his flamethrower. When everyone evacuated the volcano, they all left Kang for dead. Luckily, he was already fully programmed and powered on, so then Kang escaped. Now we move on to my brother Braddock's first hero. It was supposed to be this humanoid tiger guy, but it kind of failed, so instead we made this huge magma robot with Braddock inside. We called it Magma because it was a magma robot, and we will get to his story later. My best friend Asher's first hero was a skull-wearing monster hunter called Spinebreaker. His story is his world was attacked by a giant monster, and he went up the monster's back and broke his spine, which is how he got the name Spinebreaker. It will not be used in this story. It's just going to be Kang and Braddock. Now we can get on to Magma's story. A few weeks after Kang's volcano erupted, Kang made a friend named Braddock. One day, Kang was on a walk with Braddock, and they walked all day and were ready to go back. But right then, they found an abandoned shed they had never seen before. They walked inside and found countless experiments. There were potions and tubes and a chicken strip for some reason. They looked around a little more and found a robot that was not powered on yet. Above the robot, it said Experiment 209 Closen, who is this robot I made right here. It is, They knew that this meant something was up, and on the way out the door, they saw a man carrying a box of wires labeled Closen. They hid in the closet, and they assumed the man did not see them, but right when they were caught off guard, they heard the scientist say, "I know you are in there." They thought they were dead, but luckily there was a grappling hook laying on the ground. The scientist walked over to the closet, and right when he put his hand on the closet doorknob, Kang shot out of there with Braddock holding onto him. Later that day, Kang and Braddock were eating at a diner, and out the window they saw some sort of robot mechanic walking towards the town. It was a purple robot, and the second Kang saw it, he knew what it was. It was that Experiment Closen, the robot that they saw in the shed. They knew they needed eyes, so they did the complete opposite and waved at Closen. It took a little while for Closen to notice, but eventually she charged. And, well, she ended up, I'm not going to go into detail because it was a little violent, but to make a long story short, Braddock needed replacement limbs. So he got a huge lava mech suit instead. The doctors called it Magma. It is 43 feet tall. It is 43 feet tall and 10 feet wide. It has an obsidian arm and a molten hammer. The doctors said it would cost a lot of money, but Kang did not have a lot. All he had was a few quarters and a lot of string. So Kang got a job at a workshop that just opened. Kang looked up what it was called, and it was called Closen's Workshop. Kang marched over to Closen's workshop, broke through the door, and beat up Closen. But it turns out, Closen did not like the scientist that made it. So she beat him up. and started to run a workshop. So now close-knit is a part of the community. Thank you for all listening to my speech. I hope you liked it. It was very nice to share my interest in drawing heroes with you.